Austin Theory is Seth Rollins' spy, the best and worst of WWE Raw, why WWE Draft didn't air on ESPN, 4 new superstars join Raw and SmackDown, Rhea Ripley's ex quietly returns to Raw, Liv Morgan cheats on Dominik Mysterio, the Judgment Day is finished, Andrade's WWE contract update. A lot of people in WWE are sad. Let's dive right in. The best and worst of WWE Raw. The latest episode of WWE Raw saw the feuds and storylines shift gears as the company prepares to wrap up the year. Although the show was taped, it featured several exciting matches and major segments. WWE also made a few championship matches official for the Red brand's Netflix anniversary, giving fans something to look forward to. The company's creative head, Triple H, has been on fans' radar lately due to the decline in the quality of the weekly shows. This week, Hunter made sure to give fans what they wanted. The creative team delivered a great show, with some noteworthy moments. While not everything went perfectly, most of them stood out and exhilarated fans. Number 1. The best. Showcasing Maxine Dupri as a legitimate champion. When Maxine Dupri became the Women's Intercontinental Champion, few fans were skeptical about whether she could carry the title. However, Triple H did a great job this week by making the 28-year-old look like a credible champion. Dupri delivered a vociferous promo on WWE Raw against Becky Lynch, one that reflected her intensity and charisma. WWE gave her adequate time to shine in front of Lynch and to establish her footing as a champion. Moreover, Maxine Dupri did not step back from a fight and accepted the man's challenge like a true champion. She even made Becky Lynch tap out on Raw and made a deafening statement. Showcasing Dupri's potential was one of the best things Triple H did this week on the Red brand. Number 2. The worst. Getting the same tie as last year as a holiday gift. A big trend across all 3 of WWE's major brands is the repetition of matchups fans have already seen in 2025. Rhea Ripley and Sky have dealt with the Kabuki Warriors since the end of summer. The feud spilled over into War Games and has continued even after the PLE. Asuka shockingly defeated Mami in a singles contest on Raw. Ripley defeated Asuka in September. The same has happened with the Judgment Day facing Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. The 2 sides have traded wins, only this time, Morgan is involved. There's too much talent all around to be repeating the same matchups over and over. Number 3. The best. Austin Theory pinning Rey Mysterio on WWE Raw. Fresh off his unmasking last week, Austin Theory was the biggest highlight of last night's WWE Raw. The former United States champion competed in a huge tag team match, teaming with Bronson Reed to take on CM Punk and Rey Mysterio. Triple H gave Theory a major spotlight as he pinned the legendary luchador and secured a huge win for his team. There couldn't be a better way for the 28-year-old to make a statement than pinning an elite Hall of Famer like Mysterio. This was a great move that immediately positioned Austin Theory on the pedestal upon his return. He can carry that momentum forward in his storyline on Monday Night Raw, as this victory would now make him look like a menace. Number 4. The worst. Dirty Dom skipped the holiday season on Raw. Dominik Mysterio regained the Intercontinental title from John Cena at Survivor Series, War Games. The victory marked Liv Morgan's return from injury, as she helped her paramour win back gold. Since Morgan's return, however, Dirty Dom's precious belt has been an afterthought. The female members are not on the same page, as Raquel Rodriguez has pursued singles gold instead of tag team titles. This irked Morgan, but she adapted and has supported Roxanne Perez. All Dominik did this week was play video games with Finn Balor backstage for a few minutes. It's hard to spotlight every title, but doing nothing with the men's mid-card belt in a month is a big mistake. Number 5. The best. Solving the Women's World Championship dilemma. The Women's World Championship picture has gotten quite chaotic lately, with multiple superstars involved. Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez have been on a rampage, both wanting to get their hands on Stephanie Vaquer. Triple H finally solved that problem this week on WWE Raw by turning the situation into a triple threat match. Vaquer will now defend her championship against both Rodriguez and Bella on the final WWE Raw of 2025. This was indeed the right call, as it will help the company keep all 3 superstars in the title picture. Moreover, triple threat matches often spark more fan interest, as they pave the way for several compelling things. Number 6. The worst. Title rematches are re-gifted for the WWE Universe. Instead of moving on to new challengers, both women's champions on Raw will be battling performers they've already defeated recently. Stephanie Vaquer will defend the Women's World Championship next week against both Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez. All 4 of her title defenses have been against these 2 women. Maxine Dupri will put her title on the line against Becky Lynch on the first Raw of 2026. It feels like the entire division is in a holding pattern to get to the Royal Rumble. Vaquer especially needs a signature defense since her victory over Sky was for the vacant title. Number 7. The best. Gunther absorbing heel heat yet again. After provoking fans and disrespecting John Cena last week, Gunther showed up on WWE Raw yet again to do the same. He rattled the crowd, delivering a brief yet menacing promo. The ring general also continued to mock AJ Styles for the 2nd consecutive week. While these events may have irked fans, they were the perfect move for WWE. The company has now established Gunther as a public enemy, and the 38-year-old star has become one of the biggest heels in WWE today. This will help the creative team craft compelling storylines featuring the Austrian star in 2026. Moreover, WWE can build generational baby faces, as anyone who steps up to the ring general will automatically get thunderous cheers. Why WWE Draft didn't air on ESPN. The real reason why the WWE Draft did not air on ESPN has reportedly been revealed. The promotion and ESPN agreed to a 5-year deal in 2025 for all PLEs to be streamed exclusively on the platform in the United States. According to TC of WrestleVotes during a recent Q&A for Fightful, ESPN had an interest in the draft taking place on their platform earlier this year. However, the Wrestling Insider disclosed that the draft was more suited for Raw or SmackDown rather than a PLE. TC added that it would be difficult to picture the draft on the platform, and the way it is presented would not line up with what ESPN would be offering the audience. So if you were hoping to use the ESPN platform for that, it kind of falls apart. The way WWE formats its shows doesn't really line up with what ESPN would be offering to the audience, and it's hard to picture what a WWE TV draft would even look like in that format. The Wrestling Insider also suggested that the WWE Draft could go away altogether now that the promotion has a strong pipeline to the future with NXT. Wrestling legend Vince Russo recently stated ESPN and Netflix could battle for the rights to air the draft in the future. Speaking on Writing with Russo, the veteran suggested the company had created an issue for itself by having so many partners. He noted that it could lead to a conflict between Netflix and ESPN down the line, as the platforms may want to air the same content from the promotion. Bro, I'm telling you, they've created a problem with themselves by serving so many masters, and there's going to be conflict. Russo said. Netflix is going to start wondering why is so-and-so, why is ESPN getting this, and then ESPN's going to want certain content. It's going to run into a problem, bro. There's no question about it. It will be fascinating to see what the company has planned for the draft in 2026 after not taking place at all this year. 4 new superstars join Raw and SmackDown. Raw and SmackDown are likely to feature several new faces next year. A recent report has shed light on the stars who could be showcased on the main roster in the new year. At Saturday night's Main Event 42, John Cena had his retirement match against Gunther. The event also showcased exhibition matches between NXT stars and veterans on the main roster. Obafemi, Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, and Sol Ruca were among the developmental brand's talent who received the spotlight. According to a report from PW Insider, all the talents mentioned except Slater, who is contracted to TNA, are set to move to the main roster in the coming months. On Raw, Michael Cole noted that Javon Evans would soon be a free agent, making it even more likely he would appear on the main roster frequently. While Obafemi, Sol Ruca, and Javon Evans were booked in matches, Joe Hendry was part of a segment with R-Truth and The Miz, where he was announced as an NXT star. Javon Evans has often been booked on the main roster, and the star recently defeated The Miz on WWE SmackDown in a singles match. He also had a match with Gunther on Raw in the first round of the Last Time Is Now tournament, but ended up losing to the Ring General. On tonight's episode of WWE Raw, the young OG won his first ever match on the red brand by defeating Ryo Americano with the OG cutter. With a couple of big wins, it remains to be seen whether he can build on his newfound momentum by moving to the main roster. Michael Cole's confirmation about him being a free agent suggests he will likely appear on both weekly shows until a brand split is finalized again. Rhea Ripley's ex quietly returns to Raw. A beloved WWE name, who jokingly refers to herself as being Rhea Ripley's ex, returned to Raw this week in a backstage segment. After missing the previous edition of the show, Kathy Kelly made a low-key return on Monday night. Kelly and Ripley share a very close relationship and are often clicked goofing around backstage. Kathy Kelly has even referred to herself as Mommy's ex on social media on several occasions. Buddy Matthews, Ripley's husband, is also a witness to their bond and is sometimes a witness to their hilarious shenanigans. Kelly was curiously absent from last week's episode of Raw. However, she made her return tonight on the red brand, where she conducted a backstage interview with World Tag Team Champions AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Considering Kathy Kelly has been a part of WWE for years, many believe the natural next step might be for her to assume an on-screen managerial role or even possibly transition to being a wrestler. Some reports earlier this year even suggested that Kelly was undergoing training at the Performance Center. Vince Russo said on the Wrestling Outlaws that he was in favor of seeing Kelly take the plunge. Russo explained that when one is involved in the wrestling business, it only makes sense for them to eventually make the transition. I'm with you, bro. I always said, man, if you're around a wrestling ring, you're going to get involved. Sooner or later, you're going to get involved. So, no problem. If it's what she wants to do, go for it, Russo said. Kelly is arguably the best in all of WWE in her role as a backstage interviewer, and only time will tell if she wants to explore other facets of the business. Liv Morgan cheats on Dominik Mysterio. Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio's relationship has been on a roller coaster ride this year. Although things seem fine at this point, it could be a matter of time before it falls apart. Mysterio reportedly suffered a shoulder injury during his match at AAA Guerra de Titanes and could be away from WWE for a while. Rumors have been swirling that Morgan could cheat on him amid his absence. Speculation suggests that the Miracle Kid may replace Dominik Mysterio with his ex-partner, El Grande Americano. The two superstars, Mysterio and Americano, competed at AAA Guerra de Titanes as the heel faction Los Gringos Locos 2.0. However, their alliance broke up after the match. Dirty Dom shoved the masked luchador away in anger and stormed off backstage. Many believe that Dominik Mysterio's ex-partner could now be Liv Morgan's topic of interest. However, the possibility of the Miracle Kid cheating on her Latino heat is relatively low. The Judgment Day is already gripped with internal tensions and conflicts lately. A cold war seems to be brewing between Morgan and Rodriguez, as the two have been involved in a scuffle lately. There, WWE running another storyline simultaneously, and that too involving a love betrayal angle, seems unlikely. Moreover, Dominik Mysterio has stayed loyal to Liv Morgan during her absence, and the Miracle Kid is expected to do the same. Also, El Grande Americano doesn't fit in such romantic storylines, and the creative would likely avoid putting him in such a story. Ever since making her return at Survivor Series this year, Liv Morgan has been one of the biggest highlights of Monday Night Raw. The Miracle Kid has been on a mission to revive her faction and bring back glory days for the Judgment Day. While doing so, the 31-year-old may end up making a huge blunder. Stephanie Vaquer is set to defend the Women's World Championship against Nikki Bella and Raquel Rodriguez next week on Raw. There is a good possibility that Morgan could ruin this match. During the final moments of the bout, she could interfere and unleash a brutal attack on Vaquer and Bella. Liv Morgan could do that to give her best friend Raquel Rodriguez an opening. However, the referee could end the match in a no contest. WWE could showcase such an angle to exacerbate the existing tensions between Morgan and Rodriguez, as their relationship has started to erode in recent times. This could add an interesting layer within the Judgment Day saga. Moreover, it will make the Women's World Championship picture exciting. However, this is just speculation at this point, and only time will tell what happens. The Judgment Day is finished. The Judgment Day has been prominently featured on WWE Raw almost every week since its inception in 2022. The faction originally consisted of Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest, with the rest of the members joining later. The lineup has changed dramatically in the 3 years since the Judgment Day's formation, but there are a few clear signs that their time together could come to an end soon. Morgan and Rodriguez had a strong run as the women's tag team champions last year. However, their partnership has been on shaky ground since Morgan's return at Survivor Series. Right after her return to Raw, the Miracle Kid made it clear that she was in line to challenge Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. However, Rodriguez was given a shot at the title before her teammate, and things haven't been the same since. Nikki Bella's involvement in the title picture has also complicated things, and Morgan could turn on her partner for challenging for the world title ahead of her. Dominik Mysterio recently suffered a shoulder injury during a DDT spot at AAA Guerra de Titanes. He teamed up with El Grande Americano to face his father, Rey Mysterio, and Rey Fenix. There is no word on how long he will be out, but he will likely miss a few weeks. On the other hand, JD McDonough recently posted an update on social media where he informed fans that he would have to undergo surgery. He didn't confirm what the issue was, but revealed that there were several things that needed to be fixed. McDonough also confirmed that he wouldn't be away for long, but there is currently no timeline for the return of either star. As a result, the creative team could factor their injuries into their plans and focus on the tension between the other members. It seemed like a Judgment Day breakup would happen earlier this year when there was a lot of tension between Finn Balor and Dominik Mysterio. However, like several other storylines in WWE right now, it went nowhere. The Judgment Day has been together for longer than some of the most iconic factions in the company, such as The Shield and Evolution. Despite signs of a breakup last year, Balor and Mysterio have seemingly set aside their differences. The same can be said for Liv Morgan and Balor, who were seemingly at odds over the leadership of the Judgment Day, despite their no leaders policy. With Mysterio now one of the biggest young stars in the company, and Morgan a regular in the main event scene, there is little more to achieve by keeping the group together. As a result, it seems that the faction has run its course, and now would be a good time to send the members in different directions. Andrade's WWE contract update. Former WWE star Andrade made a surprise return to the spotlight at House of Glory's Winter Warfare, appearing after the main event and laying out Hog World Champion Charles Mason. Further, the star was also revealed in an NJPW video, confirming his comeback at Wrestle Kingdom 20 in January 2026, making headlines all around the globe. While the star's recent appearances have been quite intriguing, fans have been wondering what happened to the controversial non-compete clause in his case and how he managed to make his appearances without any further legal issues. A recent report from Fightful Select has now revealed all the details of his appearance. According to the update, the star's brother Rush helped him find an attorney who was very close to WWE and also helped the star get the non-compete clause waived. Furthermore, the update stated that the company had not paid the star since his departure and that an agreement was signed, allowing Andrade to be eligible to sign with any promotion. Andrade's termination was also accompanied by the termination of his visa, which the company is now handling. WWE is reportedly being very supportive of the star, trying to make the transition as smooth as possible. While Andrade made an appearance in AEW following his exit from the Stamford-based company, things became controversial. While the star has been appearing in much smaller promotions lately, he can't stay away from the industry's mega brands for long. While his return to the Stamford-based company seems next to impossible, at least for the time being he could make his return to AEW sometime in the future. Fans will have to wait and see what the star has planned for his future next. A lot of people in WWE are sad. A WWE star has opened up on the retirement of John Cena and the controversial finish of his final match. The Never-Seen 17 lost to Gunther by tapping out in his last WWE match at Saturday night's main event. The finish has divided opinion, with many fans upset over Cena ending his decorated career in this way. While fans were expecting him to go out on his back, seeing the franchise player submit was not what they saw coming. WWE star Natalya has also shared her thoughts on Cena's retirement and addressed the finish at Saturday night's main event. In an interview with Toronto Sun's No Holds Barred, she said the emotions of people are understandable since nobody wanted to see him lose. People online are upset. People feel angry. I mean, a lot of people are just sad and hurt and pee that he's retiring. Yeah, we knew we weren't going to get John Cena wrestling forever. People, they're feeling everything. I don't think people are happy because at the end of the day, nobody really wanted to see John leave, and they didn't like the way he left, she said. However, Natalya indicated that she was fine with the ending of his match against Gunther, saying the champ went out on his own terms, something that not everybody gets to do. What I really love about John's ending is that he left on his terms. I talk about this in my book, about beating the house. Very, very, very few professional athletes get to beat the house. Very few get to leave on their own terms. Most people leave because they're forced into it. They're forced into retirement. They have to go, she added. John Cena's last match for WWE made history for the Stamford-based promotion. The contest at the Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C., on December 13th was a sold-out occasion. The event was attended by 19,232 fans, and it became the highest-grossing arena gate in WWE history. This surpassed the record set at Money in the Bank at the Intuit Dome in June in LA. Moreover, it was the highest-grossing gate in the arena's history, showcasing the drawing power of the GOAT. Austin Theory is Seth Rollins' spy. The Vision continues to dominate WWE Raw. Under the guidance of Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed wreak havoc on the show. The latest edition of Monday Night Raw seemingly confirmed that Austin Theory is also part of the group. The A-Town Downstar helped the Vision to defeat CM Punk and Rey Mysterio in a tag team match. Despite this domination, 3 clear signs suggest that the Vision will break up in 2026. Let's have a look at those signs. Though the former WWE United States Champion is working with the heel group, he has asserted that he has a vision too. However, Theory could be working as a spy for Seth Rollins. It's crucial to note that Austin is still using Curb Stomp as his finisher on Monday Night Raw. Also, Theory was part of Rollins' alliance in the pandemic era, so his inclusion in the Vision is a subtle sign that the group will break up in 2026. Braun Breaker is the major name from the Vision, who is getting all the spotlight in the group. The new big dog is also set for a massive world title match against CM Punk in the first episode of WWE Raw in 2026. As a result, Bronson Reed is seemingly being overshadowed in the group, which may create chaos within the faction in the coming months. Reed may feel jealous of the rise of Breaker and eventually betrays the faction. Previously, we had seen that jealousy in the group is always a major factor in breakups. Braun Breaker has been an incredible performer in WWE, dominating many matches without any help. In the past few weeks, we have seen that Breaker destroyed the Second City Saint without anyone's help. This shows that the new big dog doesn't need anyone on his side to dominate the landscape of Monday Night Raw. So this could become a major factor in the Vision in 2026 and spark the prospect of Vision's breakup. Braun might start pretending to be the superior one in the group, and his behavior becomes an issue for others. This will result in Braun and Heyman breaking up with the Vision and starting a new alliance of their own in WWE.